everyone, welcome back to another Stitches and Scribbles video. My name is Erin, and today we're going to be making an infinity scarf on the knitting machine. For this you're going to need pretty much a full skein of yarn. This is 355 yards. It is the I Love This yarn in the color Aubergine. I think I've used maybe a tiny bit out of the end of this, but it should be enough to make the whole thing. And you're also going to need some waste yarn. So we're going to start by casting on with the waste yarn. Go ahead and find the end of your row, cast on, and do your cast on row and then a couple of rows of the waste yarn. I have my waste yarn sections kind of pre-cut so that they make a couple rows on my knitting machine. And you are not going to do what I did, but I accidentally went too far and lost the end. So cast on with your waste yarn, and I'll come back in a second. Alright, without going past the end of your yarn, you're going to stop at that black key, or I think it's a pink one on the central, maybe a white one, I'm not sure. And then you're going to add in your main color yarn. You do want to leave a pretty long tail because we're going to need it at the end to sew up our finished piece. You're also going to zero your yarn counter. Start that first row really slowly to make sure you don't lose any stitches with the color change. Once you've got it going, you can go a little bit faster. And we're going to continue until you have 270 rows on your machine. Once you're done with your 270 rows, you're going to switch to waste yarn. I did have to use two colors because it turns out I did not have enough in my first skein to do the whole 270 rows. So if you're doing this, I would recommend getting probably closer to like 450 yards of your yarn instead of 350. I will put the row count for how many rows I did of my colors in the description box so that you can make it the same way I did if you want, but it's still 270 rows. That part did not change. So I'm going to put my waste yarn in there. And again, since my waste yarn is pre-cut, I'm just going to go until I run out. Okay. I also was rolling mine up as I went, so then I have to unroll the like donut thing that I made. Get my extra yarn out of the way. Okay. And back at the end you started with, you should have that one really long tail that you can use to sew your ends together. I'm just kind of doing a quick pull to make sure all of my stitches are laying flat. If you have color changes, you may need to kind of mess with the edges of those color changes. Alright, so there's your 270 row tube, which is pretty long. Okay. you're going to find both edges and make sure that you're starting at the same starting point on both, so right next to where that yarn starts. And this can get a little bit tricky and take a couple tries if you're doing a seamless join. There are a lot of different ways to do seamless joins, but it kind of depends on where your stitches are. So, actually, did I do that right? Yes. So you're going to line up the openings of your tube, and in other setups sometimes you go in from the top and back out. We're going to do the opposite for this. So you're going to go under and then over for that first stitch, and you're going to switch sides and do kind of the opposite because we're going the other way. So like that. And then to switch sides, you're going to go, oh no, I did that backwards. See, I told you this was tricky. All right, I was right the first time. You kind of have to think of your knit stitches as going over the rows, if that helps you at all. So you go in from the top and then under the next one, and then when you switch sides you do the same thing but kind of in reverse because those stitches are upside down. And then you should start to see those stitches forming. So then for the next one, you're going to go in the second stitch you used from the previous stitch on that side and out, and do the same thing on the bottom. So in the previous stitch that you used and out on the next one. And you're going to keep going all the way around the edge of your scarf. When you're finished, you should have something that looks like this. It should comfortably loop around your neck twice to make kind of like a cowl, or you can wear it long by just leaving it looped once. I would price these at $40 because of the amount of time it took me and the materials. And I think that's it for this one. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to check me out on other forms of social media, that information will be in the description box below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can see all of my crafty content. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!